Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin flying round the field. Starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the death, oh yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz mark your wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boss ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season. The people starting five. We going in on three. Run the baseline, starting five. Get it. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three. Run the baseline, starting five. Get it. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign. I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
Each and every week we got what y'all need. I think we do. I know
we do. We definitely do. We definitely do, bro. Don't second guess yourself.
Nah. You know how it is. So sometimes you just kind of go blank. You draw a blank, and it's like, what the fuck? Did we give them what they was looking for? I'm like, I don't know, son. Shit. Nah, well, anyway, we back. Newest episode of Start at 5. Don't get clapped this week. Don't get slapped. Make sure y'all following us on the QR code that I had to put back up on the top of the screen. Or if you're listening via podcast form and you are not watching, go to the start5podcast.com. And I'm sorry I'm laughing because my daughter is making dumb faces right now. That's just caught me out of nowhere. But so I'll throw it to TJ while I laugh and mute.
What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a great weekend. Looking forward to a prosperous week. What's up, Mr. Mayor? No complaints. Having a great time. Looks like the weather's finally breaking a little bit after that nasty ice storm we had a couple of days ago. But I'm feeling good. Looking forward to getting this off. I'm loving the topic for this week's episode. So let's kick it off, kid.
Yes, sir. Let's kick it off just like how Juwan Howard almost kicked off somebody's face with their hands. TJ, let the people know what happened.
Well, there was a game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Wisconsin Badgers. And at the end of the game, during the handshake line, there was a tussle, you can say. Both coaches met at center court. And Juwan Howard didn't like how there was a timeout called in the last 10 seconds of the game. Had some words for the other coach. The other coach then grabbed Juwan Howard's arm, trying to get his attention so he could talk to him. Juwan wasn't trying to hear it. His assistant coach came over and had a few words, and Juwan said, "What do five fingers say to the face?" And the assistant coach found out very quickly what the five fingers had to say.
Smooth.
Yeah, it wasn't a way back Mississippi haymaker. It was like a little to let you know I'm here. Don't fuck with me. That was a fuck around and find out slap. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. That was it was more like after watching it, it was more like a warning shot. Like hey, get back, get back. Like, I said, boy, I said, like, you know, he hit him with just the quickie just step back.
Do you want these hands? Do you want these hands?
Do you really want these hands?
Do you want these hands? Because we could settle this. But yeah, so there was a big fallout about that. This is the first time I've ever seen coaches interact with each other like that. I mean, you always see players getting into tussles and fights, but I've never seen two coaches actually fight like that. I mean, but outside the Cheney Calipari joint.
I was gonna say because I was about to dig for that video right now. I kick your ass.
Outside of that, but I mean,
No, he said, "I kill you. I kill you."
yeah, he was definitely upset with John Calipari that day. But as far as like being on the court and like slapping another individual, I've never seen that before. So totally out of character for Juwan Howard. Everybody speaks high praises the guy. I mean, this is definitely something that I didn't expect to see happening. I don't know about you, but from all intents and purposes, Juwan has been a solid dude throughout his college and NBA career, and since he's been a coach. So this was totally unexpected.
Yeah, I just needed to remind TJ.
Blasted for giving them hell down in West Virginia, and here you get a hell of a job right here today. Good job. Three
Good
class
job.
guys. And
Class
you
guys.
And single them out, you can't get that brother guy.
Shut up, goddammit. They said, "When I see you, I'm gonna kick your ass." But no, we've seen coach behavior like this in multiple different ways. Just when it comes to blows, how much would we, how much have we really seen? Shout out, shout out to Ed. He said, I would have paid the $75 for the pay-per-view back in the day to see an old man fight between Caney and Calipari. Absolutely. I think
I take that back. Yo, Buddy Ryan got punched in the face on the sidelines by I forgot who it was. They caught that shit on film too. He got into a heated exchange. And he walked over and punched his defensive coordinator in the face. I forgot who it was. Damn, it eludes me right now. I can't remember who it was. That was crazy. Yeah, he walked over and just cold cocked your man in the grill.
And as soon as I went to searching, it said Buddy Ryan punches Kevin Gilbride. And
yeah, there you go, Kevin Gilbride.
I got that for y'all right now. I got it for you.
Circumstances that I've ever seen covering football for a long time. We go to the side.
Y'all don't need the sound on this one, just to block the copyright reasons, but you're gonna see it right now. Buddy Ryan hammers Gilbride, and to think they on the same damn team in this shit. The same damn team, they not even opponents. He said, "Come on, man, we supposed to be brothers."
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yeah. Yeah, damn. When he was with the Oilers, yeah, this was before he came over to Philadelphia. But yeah, man, I mean, this shit is unfortunate. Juwan Howard got suspended till the end of the regular season. I think this just lit a fire under his Wolverines players' asses. So hopefully get past the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 in the tournament. But
wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah, it's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. I don't think they got anybody that'll call timeouts in the wrong spots anymore. So, we'll see what happens. Shout out
Chris
to Chris Webber.
Chris Webber.
I love Chris Webber, but that obviously happened back when I was in high school. And there was a girl that we knew who loved Chris Webber. And even being a Chris Webber fan, we just fucked with her and talked about that timeout, and she would lose her shit, and it was the funniest thing ever. It was just funny. It was just funny. It was expect a Juwan Howard like Paul to come across and for talking about her mans like that. But it was what it was, though. But yeah, I mean, do you think what we did? We talked about what happened. Do you think the suspension and everything else was fair?
You know what? I mean, being in like that, it was only 5 games. Yes, because it could have been far worse. You know what I'm saying? Because it was showing like in a bad light, bad example. Like coaches are supposed to be held to a higher standard than the players. The players are young. They're supposed to be, reproachable. Like They represent the establishment that they're coaching for, this, that, and the third. So, yeah, the crime fits the punishment for this one. You said the coach for Wisconsin got a $10,000 fine for instigating it or
Yes,
initially.
let me actually get to that part. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Juwan got fined 40,000 and the rest of the regular season, while Greg Gard was fined 10,000 and that was it, but not suspended. And then Krabenhoff, which is the guy who caught the face, excuse me, I was gonna say Slappenhoff. He caught the one who caught the clapping across his face. Didn't receive anything thus far, which is interesting because I mean, you could look at him as like as part instigator. Like, what are you doing
He
in here?
was. He was.
Like,
He
what are
was.
you?
He didn't.
And why were you even trying to get in the man's face? Like, that's really like fine if you're there trying to push your team back and trying to keep the peace. All good, but you
Right.
got in his face, and that literally looked like a man. Who the fuck are you? Type of slap. Like
Yeah.
that's what that looked like. Like that. It didn't look like that. Whose man's is this kind of? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He definitely got slapped. Like, why are you even fucking talking? Why are you even talking, bro? What are you
Right.
here
Like
for? You're the assistant.
yeah. Like if anything, the head coach could have got fined maybe 10,000 more for lack of his own institutional control. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Right.
lack of his own team's control. Like how do you allow that happen to for that person to happen?
Right.
You know, how does that happen? Like how do you allow your bench to get off? You
Yeah, your players to
I'm
come off the
brain
bench.
farting. I'm
Yeah,
brain farting, but you get
your
me.
players to come off the bench and incite, continue to. But you got to look at it as they're coming to their coach's defense type
No,
deal. But
man, listen, I've been a part of team fights. I also
I've been in
walked
several myself.
That's what I'm saying. Like one of them, I particularly remember. I walked away from a team fight, and I'm a team guy. But this one moment, and it was this one person on my team that I knew was an asshole who deserved to get his ass kicked, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes, we were getting our asses kicked, and they got triggered and started a fight for no freaking reason. For no reason. I just walked away. Nobody shouted at me. Nobody said a word to me afterwards. But I just walked away, and I was just like, and then I started cursing at people like, "Yo, for no fucking reason, for no reason. Like, what is wrong with you people? For no reason. Like, I'm talking to myself out loud,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, I've been there. I've been there. But I'm also the dude who remembers niggas go to jail for nothing, whether it's in a game, not a game. So I've been more peacemaker in these situations. Like I'm the guy who's trying to keep everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that's trying to keep everybody back, with the exception of that one time where I just walked away from it all because I was just like, you know what? Y'all niggas over there can fight because y'all was stupid.
Right.
You're my teammates, but you're an idiot.
Right.
You're idiots.
Right.
And sometimes
You
that's
got
gotta
this
happen.
one coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's gotta happen. Sometimes it's not. You ride for whatever and then sort it out later. This Juwan Howard situation there's no riding nowhere. This is hey, and then when I heard the Wisconsin coach break it down the post game, like it kind of felt like he was, if you want to say white splaining, but in the situation, he was right for the timeout, but morally was like, it's like a.
But it was 10 seconds left in the game. Like it really wouldn't have mattered, bro. It really wouldn't have mattered, man.
That's what I'm talking about. It's that old.
You were
like,
up it wasn't like it was a 3-point game. They were up like 10, 15 points. It was like, what does it matter?
Right. But it was a coaching move. I forgot exactly what it was and why he did it.
Well, he didn't want it. It was the last 10 seconds, and where they were inbounding the ball at, by the time they had to inbound the ball, it was going to be a turnover because they couldn't get it across half court in time before the time ran out for them to cross half court. And he called the timeout because he wanted to advance the ball, which is bullshit because the game is over.
TJ, okay, I get that, but it in a way, it don't matter. Yeah, you could say there's 10 seconds left on the clock. You coach till the game is over. That's it. And now,
Not if,
when
but if you're up by 15 points, what does it matter at this point, though? That's the bottom line.
what if
You're
you
up
were
15,
down?
bro.
What if you were down by 15 and all of a sudden you're trying to coach the game and shit, and it's like what? And then you look at it like, what are you doing? You're down 15 points. It goes
Right. The
both
game
ways.
is over. The
It
game is
goes
over.
both ways.
10 seconds. It's 10 seconds, man.
Point is, it's like the unwritten rule thing when it comes to
Right.
baseball.
Right.
That's really what it was.
Right.
Like, he wasn't wrong, but come
From
on.
a coaching aspect. Right. From a coaching
Yeah,
aspect,
like,
he
and
wasn't
legit-
wrong. Technically, he wasn't wrong. I'm gonna put the
Technically,
put the air quotes around it. Technically, he wasn't wrong.
yeah, and
But
I apologize for like the
but for
stuttering and stuff
sportsmanship
right now,
wise, he was wrong.
right, and yeah, it's just the unwritten rule nonsense in all the sports. You're up so big, why the hell are you doing that? Well, Juwan, let me explain to you, son, in the wrong moment, grabbed him in the wrong spot. T pulled him off, and then crabbing
You get
off,
slap
got clapping off. Yeah, it's just the wrong guy got clapped on. That's it. It's the wrong
That's
guy
it.
got clapped on. Should stay the fuck out the way. Don't be collateral damage. Don't don't be that random innocent.
That's like the dude
bystander.
trying to jump in and that's like he was like the dude trying to jump in a fight between a girlfriend and boyfriend, and then they both slap him because he should have minded his business from the beginning. I was trying to help it. Nah, motherfucker, you need to mind your business. We got this.
And in the era that we live in now, where everybody's in everybody's business, and yeah, it's that whole thing of it's like, well, how could you just stand there and watch that happen?
Right.
Yeah, but like, all right, so I stand there. You
Well,
stop. Like now, look, fathers or daughters here.
yes.
I wouldn't mind if somebody stepped in to help if they seen my children distressed.
Right.
But also too, it's that thing of like you just said, it's like, yeah, but this could be quote unquote domestic dispute, and they get down like that.
Right.
You know, and that's
such a gray area. It's such a gray area, bro.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
you know, and we know people. I'll remind you of somebody that I remember this person's story because they've mentioned it before, where they stepped into somebody else's shit and something ended up happening to them. Not in a bad, like the person's still alive and all that, but these things happen where it's just like who the fuck are you? I didn't ask for that.
right.
I didn't ask.
You got to
for
be
that.
weary. If you see the dude like start smacking and beating the crap out of it, by all means jump in. You don't want to see that happen. But if they're having a heated debate and they're in each other's face,
Yeah, like if it's words,
let them
if it's
talk that shit out.
If it's the woman Juwan Howard and her man, stay back. If it's the man Juwan Howard and a woman, think about it. Think about it for a second. And I personally would say think about it because it's just that you never know. And
right.
We live in that time now where with social media and cameras and all of that, people sit there and like, how could you just sit there and let this go by, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. We're New Yorkers. We've been on the train where we've seen some dumb shit, and all you do as a New Yorker is, I'm to myself. I don't know what's going on. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it.
Because you see what happens when you try to help.
Yeah,
you see what happens when you try to help.
Yeah,
but I know, like you said, I know couples that they throw fists with each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone it. I don't support it, but I'm not stepping in between that waylay. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, they need to sort that shit out themselves. You know what I'm saying? If that's how they resolve disputes, that's how they resolve disputes. But that's none of my business, yo. I've learned to, like you said, you learn to pick and choose where to fight the good fight at, and then that ain't it.
Yeah. So Juwan should have probably used his head a little better, if that. But also Krabenhoff should have just stepped the back off.
Honestly, I
Should have
think he
stayed
was
way
so
off.
heated. I think he was so heated in the moment that he just spazzed out. You know what I'm saying? He let his
Yeah.
emotions get the better of him.
And to be real though, the
That
slap didn't
happens,
even. But to be real, the slap didn't even look like. It didn't look
right?
like it was some vicious damaging blow
Nah,
either.
that's what I'm
It
saying.
literally looked like a hide now. It's a hide there, young player, young fella. Like you better stay the fuck away from me now.
I'm
I done
still
told you.
6'7", Juwan Howard.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly. Manless, older black man. That's it. All it
saying?
is, older black man. Heed their warning. Heed their warning. Oh, here, Pedro Martinez versus Don Zimmer. Shout out,
Mm,
shout out to the homie Chris Milner. We're gonna
that was elder abuse though. That was
you
elder
got it.
abuse.
Shout out to Chris. He's gonna have me on his show this Wednesday. You gotta give me the details of how we're doing this show and all that stuff. If you want to roast me for what we're about to get into right now, all fair and good because the NBA is in its, you could say, second third of the season or third quarter. I mean, or fourth quarter of the season, back from All-Star break. There's only about 20 some games left. I believe they just restarted. They just restarted this Friday from All-Star weekend break.
Yeah,
All-Stars didn't intrigue me, though I do enjoy the new format of the game where they play quarter for quarter, and it now made the players have to play for something. Like you actually got to play. Like, yeah, you're gonna get your non-defensive moments here and there. He said all scar weekend left the fans scarred. That that yeah, the dunk contest highlights, but we talked about that last week. But we didn't get to see the Juwan Howard and the actual All-Star game happened after we did the show. Like it was
right.
literally like breaking news shit that just surpassed
Same
us.
day. Same day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like and literally like we used to when we used to do the show on Wednesdays, like it used to always be that way, but in reverse, where the
Mm-hmm.
breaking news would happen in the middle of the day Wednesday. It was fresh for us to talk about, but everybody's scheduling reasons is the reason why we're no longer on Wednesdays. It's the reason why you see who's here and who's not here anymore. But we're not getting into that. We're here for the NBA. We was talking about the All-Star game, the new format of the game, which TJ, like I said, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's you gotta play for three quarters, and then you have to whatever the target score situation.
Right. So
Right.
it's definitely more entertaining. You can see the players playing. Yes, they're playing harder because they're playing for a check too. Each quarter they get to win some money besides whoever charity they're playing for to win that quarter. So that also helps. Can we just talk about how bananas Steph Curry is right now, please? And that display
Well,
he put on in the game. Like,
I mean, we've been talking about that forever. The man, he's already deemed the greatest shooter ever, the greatest and this is from multiple that was disgusting. This is from multiple generations of people. I'm sorry if you weren't on camera. You might have seen something fly out of my mouth. I just ate lunch, but pause on all that. But yeah, I mean, this is multiple generations of people who swear by Jordan, don't swear by Jordan, people who've been around for freaking for Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and Oscar Robinson to where we're at now. And everybody says Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever. And for him to do that neighboring where he was born in Akron,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think LeBron set that up for him because he's
You
done
think
enough.
so?
I have a feeling, even though, and then you're having fun. I mean, it's just a game of just having fun. And
Yes.
LeBron was
He was
setting him up
definitely.
for, half court, like, 3/4 of the court, just throwing bombs up. And just everything. Like he shot from
from the
about
logo. From the logo.
from the front of the logo. Put the shot up.
Turned his back.
And didn't even watch it fall. He was just all right. Defense. All right, we over there. Like,
I mean, he's made the indefensible shot. Like nobody's guarding you 6 feet from the 3-point line. It's just if you make it, you got it. That's
right.
what it is. Like you mean, respect to you. We're not coming all the way out there to guard you. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I mean,
and if you have the right set of teammates around you, you go out to 30, 40, 50 feet and guard him. Or you might have to pause D him from as soon before the ball crosses
from the inbound full court press.
Yeah,
you might have to press him from the
Yeah, you'd have to play D on him from as soon as the ball is inbounded. And then you have to hope that the other teammates don't get free.
Right.
When you pull that much attention off of other players,
and
you're freeing up so many people.
And what also happens is because he worked on his handles, he's got some of the nicest handles in the NBA.
Yeah,
that he can take you off the dribble, so he's going to get by you, which means that somebody else has got to help. Which means that, like you said, somebody's going to be wide open. And who's usually wide open? His splash brother, Klay Thompson, who's going to hurt you just as much as anybody else on that team. So, I mean,
realistically, it's been other player that is now has the ability to make a name for themselves because you're playing off of the greatest shooter ever. And this All-Star game is what we saw: 50 freaking points on 16 3-pointers. Like, this is going to happen in a live game one day.
Yes.
Live game one day.
But just think about it. I mean, for all the amount of running he does, I mean, he does a ton of around running. If all he has to do is run around and shoot, he could play for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't have to worry about getting beat up inside the paint or attacking the glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can just run around and shoot till his legs give out. You know what I'm saying?
Eventually, he can end his career in a Ray Allen-like role. That's it.
Absolutely. Hired gun.
Exactly. Hired gun. You could catch me in the corner chilling out, giving daps to my daughters, saying what's up to the wife while she's cooking in the arena somewhere. And you just need a 3? All right, I'll be right back, honey. Boom, and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like some dumb shit. But yeah, the kid is unreal. Literally the greatest shooter ever. Ever. And the numbers and stuff like that is just gonna keep falling. It's just going to keep falling. But I just wanted to go through that real quick before we get into what we think is going to happen with this last part of the NBA season as I pull up the standings for this year. We have the Heat sitting currently in the number 1 spot. In the East, the Bulls, the Sixers, who are playing our Knicks right now. It's just one of many reasons why you're not seeing JP on this show this week. Because he has to give his 6-man energy to his Sixers. We got then
they're only up 2 right now, which is surprising.
Yep. And then surprising is we got the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 4th spot over the Milwaukee Bucks, the Celtics, Raptors, and 8th seed Nets.
Can we say Cleveland is this year's Knicks of last year, like, for the 4th seed?
Yeah. I would say so. Man. Freaking
nobody saw them coming. Nobody it pictured, them putting on this type of show, this type of run, beating the teams they've beaten.
Jared
with the squad
Allen
they have.
Making All-Star, which was late addition, but the kid deserved it because
he definitely deserved it.
He's kind of
Darius Garland really playing at a high level, and the super rookie Evan Mobley right now playing, above and beyond what people expected him to play. He's really 5'2" player. He can do it inside, outside, and have that defensive presence. Like the kid is he's for real.
Right. See now, like as I look through this, like I'm not worried. The top 3, they're gonna bounce around because they have been, they can flip flop for the rest of this year and be all
Right.
right because these three have been the mainstays in the East so far. The Heat have kind of quietly been doing it, while also the Bulls has quietly been the number one spot in the East for most of the season prior
Yes.
to the All-Star break. But then, as we love to call them, as the second round Sixers, Chris, I will apologize right now, but not fully apologize. But I will say, as mentioned, and I think actually, I don't know if I have to apologize or not, but we did kind of mention at the beginning of this trade situation, your Sixers made out for right now. Did I say that they lost the trade? I did. But when I even did a little bit of revisionist thinking when it happened, yeah, if you are concerned with just right now, the Sixers definitely won out on that trade with the Nets. But that's right now. And then, two, let's think about it. He just played his first game with them. You know what I'm saying? I know TJ. I know that you've seen at least the highlights of what James Harden looked like. It literally looked like he either went in during that break, got lipo, or is wearing a freaking
Yo, the man looked like he
wearing a
dropped
fucking
30 pounds in
a
like 2
girdle.
weeks.
Yeah, like like son is wearing a girdle, a faja if you Dominican, Puerto Rican, whatever you call it.
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
James Harden came through like a slimmy for his first game, like his first official game with the Sixers. And I will apologize to you, Chris, and only you. Yes, it looks like the Sixers, for right now, have won the trade. But again, it's a right now. Right now.
This
I mean, right now for the closeout
right.
of the rest of the season.
We'll see
Maybe.
where this pans out in the playoffs, man. Because if they have to play the Heat, I don't know if they can beat the Heat in a 7-game series.
Right.
The Heat have a lot of firepower. You know what I'm saying? They have shooters. They have Bam inside, Butler, Hero. You know, they Lowry. They got a lot to account for, and they play hard-nosed defense all the time.
Right.
I mean,
James Harden, though, I mean, it's crazy to say that he used each pit stop to develop his game. Like the last pit stop was he became a better passer, better, but he's the same scorer, the same passer. I still see the loss in defense. So it's literally like you made the 76ers a team that's going to have to outshoot and outscore everybody.
Like, so what do they do if Harden gets in foul trouble, right? So then it falls back on Embiid. But we've seen Embiid in big moments in the playoffs. And what has happened?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all know that story.
And we're saying this being Knicks fans, but I mentioned it before and I'll say it again. Joel is my favorite player in the league right now, with the exception of LeBron James. You know, like I don't have to. He's already in legend status that you don't have
He
to.
who shan't be named.
No. We shout out to Will, but we say his name here. LeBron James. If y'all niggas want to get emo on this show, the door is always open for y'all to come here and get emotional because we mentioned the GOAT's name. And I said it, and I'll say it again. LeBron James. I didn't set up my mixer because I could have hit the drop. The LeBron James. But Joel Embiid is my favorite player in the league right now. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. Like, he's brought the center position back for me. And the slightest him, Jokic, Rudy Gobert, you know, they're getting there. They get Hassan Whiteside at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like the center, at one time he was balling. Right now,
yeah,
not so much. But I Joel Embiid, though, you seen that ugly little step back he tried to do? He tried to do the hardest step back.
Oh my God.
And JP in the comments was like, man, there's nothing to see. Everybody got the hiccups. And all I said was like, I know who can explain this away. He said there's nothing to see here. Everybody has a hiccup there. I got hiccups, but I try to drink water to clear my hiccups. I don't do no dumb
that
shit
step
like that.
back was just as bad as that crab dribble. You know what I'm saying?
But all our favorites do dumb shit eventually. But dumb shit will be in the 76ers, second round Sixers, as we always call them. The one dope thing is that James Harden definitely looks like an official Philly ball with the, he went in with
the beard, right?
And the beard and
the beard, yeah.
All he
came
needed
prepackaged.
Now if he wanted to look like an official New Yorker, he should have came with half the cornrows out and the other half done with the beard. Then he would have fit in New York real well. But nonetheless, our Knicks are kind of floundering very, very
We're
low.
done, bro.
Yeah, I don't see us. I just see us playing disruptor for the last 20-something games of the season.
If that.
Yeah, the Nets, do they stay at 8 or do they go up a little bit?
I can see them making a push to the 60. It depends. Now they're saying Ben Simmons has back soreness because he's hasn't played in forever, and now he's got to recondition himself to play games. Now it's just
when you sit down and you're talking to a fat ass with myself who has arthritis in his back. When you sit for long periods of time like that, when you truly sit for long periods of time like that, i.e., what Ben has been doing all season, yeah, your back is going to hurt because you gotta get used to using them muscles again. So it's just fact.
Wow.
It's just actual factual from a fat person.
Wow. That kid is like 22, 20, 24, 25 years old. He should have no back issues, bro. None.
All right. It's the shoulda, coulda. Oh, he shouldn't because of how young he is. It all depends on how much work has he been putting in to get ready to even come back.
You're right. He probably hasn't done shit. Think about
and TJ, you work out. Think about what happens when you don't work out consistently for say a month and you go back in.
Oh yeah, it's like starting day one all over again.
That's all I'm saying. When it comes to Ben Simmons and the back pain, he's gonna have to work through it, get that core strength straight, more than just back exercises and stuff. And yeah,
but what does that lineup look like when he's back healthy with Kyrie and Kevin Durant? Like that's very formidable, man. He's not the main option. He's the third guy in that trio.
Who cares about him as an option? It's like I said last week. You have Ben run the point, but then unfortunately, you make it look like you're running a 5-on-4 kind of game because defensively you got a solid guy, but you free up Ben Simmons to either just drive the lane, bring the ball down, and distribute and facilitate and distribute. Kyrie and KD are going to find ways to get open.
Kyrie's going to go nuts at the 2. Are you kidding me? He relishes that shit.
That's what I see happening. That's what I see happening with all of them coming through. You know what I'm saying? But let's move on to the West, as I already changed it to the screen. And we got the Suns. I'm sorry. Hold on real quick because my kids are interrupting me.
We got the Suns at 1.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. The Suns are in first place right now, followed by the Golden State Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies, Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, Timberwolves, Clippers, Lakers at the 9th spot, Trailblazers. I think everybody underneath the Lakers is just, there's no need to talk about them. Everybody's done. Trailblazers, nothing to talk about. Pelicans, we could talk about Zion getting bigger off that New Orleans cooking. The Spurs ain't the Spurs no more. The Kings are just stupid. Ooh, oh, my bad. We were supposed to get roasted, TJ, because the Thunder beat the Knicks.
Oh,
what we fucking do?
Oh, 2 bottom feeder teams going at it.
Right? Like, ooh, burn. We suck, but we got beat by a team that sucks even more. What are y'all celebrating? But I digress. And then the Rockets at the bottom of the division. Yeah,
It-
this conference here with the Chris Paul going down for the rest of the regular season at minimum. Um, do you see I mean, the Suns have a very firm lead too at 49-11 to the Warriors 43-17. Do you see the Suns dropping out of that first spot, or do you see Devin Booker and them keeping them in the number one slot?
nah, I don't see them falling precipitously like that. I think Devin Booker, Bridges, and the crew will keep them afloat. They'll win the games they'll have to win. That you should win for sure. They might struggle a little bit against better teams, but this is they're just holding it down till Chris Paul comes back. That's the way I see it. Um, Aiton, Booker, and Bridges is enough to keep them in the top spot for right now. The only team they actually have, like you said, they have enough cushion because the team that's really that people need to watch is the Grizzlies. They're running teams out the building. John Morant is playing out of his mind right now. He put up 46 the other night against the Bulls on some spectacular shit. He did a 360 layup at the rim. I just saw an interview with him. He said, "What got you going?" He said they were playing clips of Jordan during the timeout, and that motivated me, and I had to just go out there and put in some work. And I was like, "Damn!"
And
He
right,
just
and
came out there.
And a call back to last week's conversation that didn't make him do the stuff. It motivated him.
Perfect example, Dan. Perfect example. Great tie-in. But Morant is the truth. I mean, we all know what happened, right? He got picked second. We were supposed to get him, and it just didn't happen. And that's just the way life of being a Knicks fan is. That's just what it is.
Swing and a miss.
So no, Morant is definitely driving this team to where they're at. Ironically, he's not being considered for MVP consideration because without him, where's Memphis at? You know what I'm saying? Where are they at? Are they even the 6th seed, or are they playing for the play-in if he's not there? They were playing well without him. Yeah, because he missed a few games when he was injured. And he came back. He definitely thrusted them over the top. So Morant is the guy. And I can see them even stealing second place right now. They are right there. They're right there. And if they can get second place, that is huge. That is huge for them as an organization, as a team, the franchise, the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the bottom though. Like Minnesota Timberwolves, they've been all season to be still sitting at the 7th spot. I have a strange feeling they're going to be the ones who fall out from 7 to 9, and the
Here's
Lakers
a
make it in at 8.
here's a better question: do the Lakers make it out of the play-in, or do they make it out of the first round?
Well, how did the play-in situation? I keep hearing it, and I totally forgot. I'll keep it real with you. I totally forgot how the play-in situation works. Does it work with like they seed the first 7, and then 8 and
No,
9 play
six,
each other?
six. They see the first 6.
Okay,
Get into 6 is the ideal because you're not involved with the play-in tournament.
oh,
It's 10 through 7, 7 through 10,
okay.
or that have to worry about whether they're going to make it to the first round or not. So this is the Lakers dichotomy right now because they're right on the border of being they're in the
On
playoff
either end.
tournament.
It's like
Yeah,
it's either end. Okay, so I get it. So 7, 8, 9, and 10 fight for the last 2 spots.
correct.
Okay, so LA is roughly in the middle, but on the bottom end of
Right,
not making it, while
right.
the Trailblazers are 1 or 2 losses away from being out of contention. The Clippers and the
Altogether.
Timberwolves sit in the best spots to where, yeah, okay, so Timberwolves, Trailblazers, and then it will be Clippers, Lakers. Good luck, Lakers. if the Clippers team that we kind of truly didn't see you not unified this year. Well, if they were all healthy, then it could be spell problems for a lot of people.
Right.
But they
Right. No
haven't been
Kawhi, no
healthy.
Paul George, and they're still
Right,
in
right. They still
contention right
haven't been a
now.
full unit all year. So
Who's that? Tyronn Lue out there?
yeah,
Shout out to Tyronn Lue, man.
yeah,
Getting
yeah.
it
Good for
done.
him.
Getting it done. But the Lakers are a barn fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to see this coming. They had a lot of older vets on there, and they were like, "Oh, the older vets, they're gonna, they got this, they got it all together now." And now we've been saying this all season, all year long. Like, injuries, they got the most injury-prone team in the league. AD is out again. LeBron was in and out the lineup. Melo's coming off the bench. You don't have enough young talent to sustain you, to keep you, where you need to be at. So, as LeBron goes, the Lakers go at this point. And that's a lot of heavy lifting to do at his age with this team. Like, he doesn't have a lot of help, and he put this team together. So, I mean, it kind of falls back on him a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, AD, lower leg injuries, things like that. Like, it's one of those things where it's the peril of being so big, because these types of injuries are not uncommon on people of his size. You know what I'm saying? It's just the factor of, in my opinion, it's the factor of, we held this cat to this high of esteem and prestige because of the things that he has done within this league, that what injuries that happen to really large men of that height that are average, like these things, all lower leg injuries happen to tall people whether we see it or not. And I'll just say it again, it's because he's on the pedestal up here as one of the greatest in the league currently that can't stay healthy.
He was just made one of the top 75 players of all time.
Yeah, which
And,
that's
and
a list we're gonna. I think we talked about it. No, we really didn't.
no,
go in
not
on
really.
It.
Not really.
We really didn't go in on it, but
no. I don't think he should be on the list personally. That's my opinion. But
yeah, you know what? We're gonna have to go over that list soon. We're exiting Black History Month. We're approaching Women's History Month, which we always do a little series of something for the women. I'm trying to think of some things now. Like, there's a couple particular like TikTokers I want to. There's one TikTok that I want to hit up who was in the world of professional wrestling at one time, and y'all know I love my professional wrestling, but there's just something about the women in the sport that seems to go unsung. So I'm going to see if I can get that person as a guest one of these days. And then we'll think about what other types of things that we'll deliver in respect towards women during Women's History Month. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I segued into that so quickly to go into the last thing. But was there anything left on the NBA that we needed to cover?
no, the last 2 weeks will be interesting for the bottom teams trying to get into to play the play-in round. That's about it. That's where the race is at. The top four teams in both divisions are set with very, very little moving around. The Mavericks, which I call Knicks West, because they have every Knicks player we have ever had.
Right. Well, actually, shit. Real quick on that. Didn't what's the name got traded, right?
Who? Oh, Porzingis.
Yeah, he's on the Washington, right?
He's a wizard now, and I don't think he's played a game yet.
Interesting.
I don't think he's played a game yet. His future is very much in the balance.
Right. You talk about tall people and injury.
He's the white Greg Oden.
You spent more time actually spent some time on the court.
Yeah.
Greg Oden's a champion too. Let's not forget.
He's got a ring.
He was on
got
the
more than
bench, but
most.
he got one.
He's got more than most.
Yeah. Shout outs to him, Adam Morrison, all them underachieving top picks that
Eddie Curry. That's all I'm
capitalized.
gonna say.
Who?
Eddie Curry.
Oh,
Eddie Curry.
oh. We
He just
we both Knicks fans, right? And you dare do that to me? You do that to me?
he should never have a ring. Never.
He was
Never.
the he was the that's who we had after Patrick Ewing. Like immediately after Patrick Ewing was him.
Dark days, bro. Dark days.
Shit. Trying to get us free balls with these lights here.
Listen, all we can do is laugh because if we don't, we'll cry. And I'm not crying. I haven't cried in a long, long time, bro.
No more pain, no more drama. No
Where's
more.
Mary? Where's Mary when you need her?
Right? We need a soundtrack just for this. We need a soundtrack just for fucking Nick's pain. We don't need Screaming A. Smith sounding off for us. We need a Mary J track. Oh, that's so fucked up. We don't need none of you famous mother. We just need a Mary J track to fix all our pain, fix all our drama.
God.
No more hateration and holleration up in this dancery. Holy shit, TJ, are we high right now?
Nah, I wish I was, bro. It would be easier to digest right now.
Word up, man.
This cigar's got me kind of nice, but
now you gotta get to the bottom. That's where they hide the weed in the bottom. But it's for real though. When I first started smoking and like I would get low to them, that's where I was spaced out because all that oil settling in, all the tobacco settling in. They said Michael Jordan playing slap ass with MJB. I ain't mad at him. Ain't no more pain, no more drama in her life.
Mary wasn't mad either.
No, you know what that was? That was like that MJ went to her like, I see them boots you rocking. Can I try those? Then Mary J was like, damn, MJ, where you get those boots at? We see them.
The way you get the bootcut pants from is more like
we see them in the Holleration 17s. We've seen MJ courtside in the No More Drama 11s.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's funny.
The My Life 20s. We've seen them shits before.
Oh,
seen them shits.
Monday, a friend of mine. Tuesday.
They got the Grand Poobah. What's the 411 alternative 12s in boot form?
Oh my god!
Meanwhile,
nothing like a self roast. Nothing like a self roast.
MJ is like, keep it up, niggas. I could buy your whole life right now. Keep making fun of my boots all you want.
Yeah, my boots own a team, nigga. How about that?
Exactly. Several. My left shoe owns Bubba Wallace's team. My right shoe owns the freaking
the Hornets.
Holy shit. But we did say there's gonna be no more hateration up in this Anthony. So we gotta give it. Since we talking about famous black folks and being positive and things that they've done, let's talk about how I realized when we thought about this, because I've been brain farting all week and had to close out Black History Month with something. And I realized a few years ago, JP and I did the whole thing of Black culture is American culture, but the way we did it was by way of certain segments of life and things like that. So like we talked about rap, I think, but we talked about hip hop culture as a whole. We talked about certain inventions here and there. We talked about certain women and what they've contributed to society. It overall was just like contributions to society type of things. And now, I mean, we're just kind of rehash it, but in a shorter form. What we as a people would not have today if it weren't for our people of color. And because we are in this podcast space and this media space, this new media space, if you want to even call it that. And as this article, as I'm looking at now, this man is credited for giving voice to the voiceless in some sort of a way. His name is Robert Abbott, and excuse me, Robert Abbott is the pioneer of black people in the press. Back in 1905, he wrote up and started the Chicago Defender, which is known as one of the most important black newspapers in history. And to be fair, as this article is quoting, is saying without this man starting this back in 1905, we would have had no Essence magazine. We would have no Jet Beauty of the Week because there would be no Jet Beauty. There would be no Jet magazine to have it in. There might not be a space for us right here as
He
far
was
as podcasting
the
is
voice of our
concerned.
people, basically.
Yeah, the one the first cracked the airwaves without legitimately cracking the airwaves, if you want to
Right.
say. So I have to give it up to this man and say thank you, Robert Abbott, for being a reason why we could, in some ways, we can sit here and openly do what we do as a podcast.
Awesome.
Then I'm gonna go one more time because the rest of them kind of match your five, TJ, and I'm gonna let you
Mm-hmm.
have the floor.
Mm-hmm.
This here is like the definition of America right now in this day and what we live in, times that we live in. Hip hop culture is the ultimate of American culture. I mean, to some will actually say, which to me I find factual and truthful, black culture is the probably one of, if not the only American cultures that's like true to America. And I'll get to why I mentioned hip hop and hip hop kind of ties into why, but the point I forgot that I wanted to open up and make that point is that a lot of people feel that American culture is black culture and black culture is America's culture
It's
because
intertwined. You can't have one without the other.
we can't have one without the other because of what said other cultures have done to our people as a whole. So you've taken us from, well, let's keep it real. Some of us have been here before, whether you do history into it or not. We have been here as a people already before, quote unquote, the enslavement of our people. But if we go from off the massive of the enslavement of our people being brought here, you stripped us of land, you stripped us of identity, you burned our books, burned our histories, removed what some people thought as their gods out of said cultures and stuff like that, only to try to utilize and manipulate on these lands here. Okay. But you guys, as a people, were able to maintain, carry through your traditions, your customs, your things like that, and leaving us as a people to quote unquote start anew. And part of a lot of TJ's list that I agreed with, we're going to talk about innovators and things like that, but it was due to those people's doings to why we had to form our own in multiple ways within this country, within this land, within the parameters that was set for us, not by us, but for us to live under. And so when you hear certain things like, oh, go back to where you came from, go back to Africa, all them dummy things, it's like, yeah, but we built all of this here. Like we built all of this
They
here.
don't
Like
see it though. They just take it for granted that
right.
somebody else did it besides us.
Right. And one of the greatest things that we built, just besides obviously obvious inventions and stuff that we're utilizing right at this moment to produce this show to you, this little components that's like this microphone, the magnets and stuff within it, black man, the
Right.
monitor that we're watching right now. We wouldn't have color monitors if it wasn't for black man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like and to me, hip hop might be the greatest because hip hop spawned a cultural movement. It gave you know, if you want to say from the sources of religion, like it gave people who, like myself, say might not have rocked with the religious faith and base and set and things like that. It gave me something that I could belong to, that I could feel a part of, and that I'm attached to. I can live, breathe, see every day. And as I keep reminding people, it's bigger than just rap music. It's become bigger than just DJing. Even though if it wasn't for the DJ, this culture might not have started. You know what I'm saying? If and we'll have the debate another day whether graffiti is hip hop culture or not. We have adopted it as such. It's ours. Even though many of the originals, even Grandmaster Flash will say no, it's not, because a lot of rock kids and punk kids was doing graffiti far before hip hop was even a thing. That's why the
Right.
argument is there. But that's not
Right.
part of it. But it's a part of our culture. It's something that came from the streets, came from the adapting to not having and creating our own. And it just goes to the ingenuity of us as a people and some of the names that TJ is going to get into as a whole, and the way that this thing has expanded outside of America, started in America, but the way it's expanded outside of just our state of New York to the other 50 states to the rest of the world
Right.
in some sort of a way. This hip hop culture started by blacks, browns, and even very few, but it was started by black and brown people. It was started by what y'all call us blacks and Hispanics and Latinos, who are the brown sides. Like, you know, we started this shit out of
Yep.
nothing, out of
Nothing.
nothing. And thank you, Herc. Thank you, all the other forefathers and mothers. Thank you, Herc's sister, for the first party, quote unquote.
That's it.
If just of all things, nothing
Yeah.
gets started without a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing gets started without a woman.
Well
But
said.
I could sit here and this whole conversation could have just been about hip hop culture, but I talk about this shit on a daily basis that people have their own. I don't want to hear nobody else's shit right now about hip hop culture. This was just to describe how to me, it gets no more American culture for black folks than hip hop itself. And that's that. I'm just two of our greatest creations. One was a black man who gave us free, put us into the press as far as media is concerned, and something that is the most dominant and in the forefront of the world today is our hip hop culture. Those are my two. TJ, you can give your other
Well, keeping
five.
on this along the lines of black women, I'm going to start off with one of our own, Shirley Jackson. Now, she was one of the first African American women to receive a doctorate degree from MIT. All right. And she's responsible for monumental telecommunications research that led to the invention of the touch-tone telephone, the portable fax, fiber optic cables, and the one thing that we all use to this day right now on your cell phone, caller ID. If that is not one of the greatest inventions of all time, I don't know what is, because people, once they know who's calling, can let that phone ring, put it the ringer on mute, silent, or whatever, and go about their day and business and be like, oh. That says it right there.
Thank you.
Scam likely.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to see this. Thank you.
For so many years, we had to pick up the phone, not knowing who was on the other end. It was just a guess. Who's going to call me today? Will it be a bill collector or my best friend? Got to pick up the phone and find out. So yes, Shirley Jackson, all praises and respects due to you. President Obama gave her a medal for leading for the medal for, I can't recall it. It was for technology. It was a medal for technology. But Shirley Jackson, thank you for your contributions to everyday American society, and every American respects what you have done, especially with fiber optic cables, caller ID, and your contributions to the technological advancements of our country. Second one, which you have previously mentioned, the man's name is Mark Dean. He was one of the co-inventors of IBM's first PC, personal computer, which we all have nowadays, as well as the color PC monitor.
Yep.
So
this is one of the names that I was in conjunction with you on. I was co-signing your pick of this guy right here.
Yes. He was also part of founder of the technology that enables printers, keyboards, and mice to communicate with your computer, which we all use. All of us use on a daily basis in everyday life, your job, your life. Everybody uses a mouse. Everybody uses a printer. You have to use these functions in order to get your shit done for what you need to do. So Mark Dean, legend, one of the greatest contributors of science and technology. And he also helped develop the first gigahertz processor, which made your computer run faster. So that alone, the man's work will forever be immortalized in what day-to-day, and not only in this country, but around the world, affects everybody across the globe. So those are my first two. Going on further down the line, I want to also give a shout out to Frederick McKinley Jones. This man invented the refrigerated air conditioning units for trucks, trains, ships, and planes, which helps you get your food to where you need to be, and preserving it so you can have fresh food on your plate every day. As well as going back to World War II, his refrigerated units help carry blood and medicine to preserve throughout the war. So if you see trucks with these Thermo King air conditioning units, refrigeration units on these trucks, these planes, and these refrigerators, that is because of Fred McKinley Jones. God knows where we'd be without refrigerated products. I don't know how. It was all done with dry ice before, and it was a laborious process, and it took forever. You lost a certain amount of food traveling from one side of the country to the other because dry ice only lasted for a certain amount of time before foods got damaged. This man came up with the idea of refrigerating it so it can come from the West Coast to the East Coast, or from one side of the world to the opposite side of the world. So you can get your products delivered in a timely, not only in timely fashion, but preserved and fresh as it possibly can be. So shout out to Frederick McKinley Jones. Also, another man whose contributions also help with day-to-day life. Garrett Morgan, he invented the first traffic light, and he also invented one of the earliest versions of the gas mask. We all know what the traffic light does and has done for us as a country on a global scale. Um, Without traffic lights, even with traffic lights, people are still out here driving crazy and running lights and this, that, and the third. But uh, to save lives and to contribute to that is it's phenomenal. And we take all these things for granted. The traffic light, the refrigerated air conditioning unit, your caller ID. Last but not least on my list is Alexander Miles. He's the inventor for the automatic doors for the elevator. Back in the days, this is going back to the 1800s, where the elevators back then, you had two doors, you had to close them manually yourself. And if somebody forgot to close the door, you fell down the elevator shaft, which was, I guess, an ongoing thing back in those times. He made it possible for both doors to close at the same time so you could enter and exit the elevator safely without falling to your demise because you thought the elevator door was open and you could just walk right in. Those are my 5 contributors to America and to people across the world, worldwide, in terms of helping us live in a better society and a safer society at that.
Yeah, and all dope picks, all dope things. And I just, like the asshole that I am, I immediately thought about thank you to him for bringing us the automatic elevator doors, because without that, then maybe the kid wouldn't have fell in good times.
You want to know what a funny story is and how he came up with that idea? Is the fact that his daughter was walking to an elevator and she almost fell in a elevator shaft, and he grabbed her before she fell, and that's what sparked him to create automatic elevator doors. So
yeah, that's amazing. That's
that
amazing.
happening, that's amazing within itself.
Right, but I mean, it's just, again, we briefly, and we went through
We barely
names that
touched
were
the surface.
known. We went through names that were known of people who, if it wasn't for them, a lot of just basics that you take for granted nowadays wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe we could do without the traffic light, because now, because of the traffic light, they got traffic light cameras and we get tickets. But I'm joking.
Right.
But I'm joking, because if without the traffic light, you want to see what the traffic light don't look like. I seen it. Go to the Dominican Republic. See what an intersection looks like out there sometimes. Freaking chaos. Take a turn. Try to be polite and get through. Yeah, you could forget it. But yeah, like I said, if we just sit here, we'd have to try to break the Guinness Book of World Records in podcast distance and length, because yeah, we could be here for 3 to 5 to 7 to almost a month or more recording on everything that has been done from Black folks in America.
Yes.
If it wasn't for us, and if it wasn't for these creations and inventions, we would still be in somewhat of the Stone Ages. We would still be back where you had to drink milk because it makes your bones grow, which is bullshit because you're drinking cow pus. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you mentioned refrigerated meat. Like, literally, we would have to go hunt and kill on a daily basis to not let the shit spoil, and not let things spoil, or hope that the ice don't melt too fast, and
Right.
things of that nature. I believe, I forgot, I don't have the name because I was reading through a bunch of different things quickly this morning. We're responsible for the electric clothes dryer. So think about not having a clothes dryer anymore, and now you got to go back to hanging your shit outside on the line, and then bot flies are on your shirt. You put it on your back. Ow! What the hell is this thing growing in my back? And if you ever seen what a bot fly looks like growing out of a human, go look on your own because
Disgusting.
I'm not going to show you. 'Cause yes, it's
Disgusting.
nasty. But thank you, black people, for bringing us electric dryers. It just so many damn things that you can take. You can thank us for not us, but our people for that. You then continue to shit on us and disrespect us and ridicule us just because we asked for fair treatment. We got to still remember
That's it.
we got to still remember we're in a country that still has on the books that we are 3/5 of human.
Listen, like I can always tell you, the civil rights movement is not even 60 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Not even.
I mean, yo, quick side. You want to know how disgusting this country is, right? My wife was watching something on Hulu yesterday about how children getting pushed off by family members into marriages as young as 11 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old. There's over 40 plus states in this country that doesn't have on the books where you have to be of a certain age to get married. Think about that. And in this show, these two women had to go in front of Kentucky Congress and Florida Congress to fight for the right to have these marriage laws changed.
Why is that even a question in 2022?
And there was old crusty dusty white men that was there trying to fight it. One guy said, my parents was married when my mother was 16, my father was 30. They had me. Like almost on some like what's so wrong with it? Yeah, but that's another
ridiculous.
Another topic for another
Yeah,
day.
let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
You know what to do, TJ.
Yo, shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to you, Mayor. Another great show. Looking forward to us doing this again next week. And shout out to everybody. Remember, check the QR code over my right shoulder. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. To find out all things Starting Five and the Starting Five podcast.
That's it. No long talking from me. We got
Disposable Planets. Peace.
Disabled Planets.
Disabled Planets. I had to do it once.